Welcome back to another edition, whatever you want to call it, of Scatter Thoughts, where I, Sky, give you scatter thoughts about what's on my mind and either stuff that comes up during live streams. We live stream on primarily YouTube, but also on Twitch, and or just my notes and things like that. And so just content in between the long form video essays, guides, other content that we do. Just to kind of see what sticks during spaghetti at the wall. And if y'all like it, we usually will actually make a long form video from these conversations and what you all say in the comments. If not, it goes into the ether of late internet. And, it just stays there. But I always appreciate folks who interact with these. Interact with these pieces of content as we're just trying things out. But yes, let's go ahead and dive in for today. Today it's taking a little bit different posture, if you want to say. I don't know. But what I'm really interested, or at least just want to kind of name in this edition, is just talking about boundaries. And I know it's not like necessarily Destiny 2, but it involves Destiny 2. Um, and so a little bit of story time, and then I'll get out of y'all's here. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about boundaries. As folks know, I'm still fairly new streamer, but really appreciative of the community that we've been building, especially on YouTube. When I was looking up and researching how to like live stream on YouTube versus like Twitch, a lot of things said like, oh, just obviously you can work to carry your communities over both platforms, but it tends to be a different interaction. And yeah, boy, is that an understatement. Now that this is gonna sound bad. I appreciate anyone who wants to spend their time in a live stream, even if you don't need help. People who just stop by and have conversations with me, have conversations with other chat members. I really appreciate it. Right, you spending your time with the community, but there is. Yeah, just a little bit. There is a little bit of a difference in terms of the community that comes out for YouTube streams and the community that comes out for Twitch streams. And partially, I'm wondering if it's just because, we're still growing the community and, we're trying to figure out like who, just who's there just for, and it's fine if you just come for helps. I want to be very clear, perfectly valid to just come by for helps, get what you need, and then keep it moving. That's what the channel is for. But then also, folks who are interested in, yeah, I guess, just sticking around for the long term. And so it's been interesting to kind of see like that mix of people that come around and all of its value, because again, you don't have to spend your time in my community, and I appreciate folks who do. But it's also, I say to say that it's also brought up this kind of, not necessarily question, but this kind of almost conundrum, so to speak, about I don't. Do I want to call it? I don't want to overstate it, but essentially, it just brought up this question around like boundaries. Because for me, as folks know, I am very big on mental health. If I don't have the capacity to stream, I'm not going to sit there and like give y'all like a half-hearted stream. If I don't have, if work was really tough. Again, folks who know, I talk about my job pretty frequently, and folks who know, like I work with clients who are dealing with like real life issues, and so that's very emotionally, engaging. So it takes a lot out of me. And so if I don't, if I, and streaming and entertaining people and, also answering people, like teaching, all those different things that happen in stream also take a lot out of you. So again, if I know I've had a really rough day at work, dealing with the stuff that I have to deal with through my job, then like, no, oftentimes I feel like it's better for me to not like potentially get exhausted or upset or like potentially like take it out on chat. I'd rather just like wait a day, which also often happens. I just cancel one day, and then we'll come back the next day and we'll be good, right? And so all those pieces, right? Like I communicate that. I know I'm still working on communicating across all channels, but people in my Discord obviously like see those updates. I'm very clear about those. And also when we're in stream themselves, I'll be very clear like, hey, this is going to be the last group of folks that we help for the day. I need to get off. I need to feed myself, so on and so forth, all the different things. And so uh, I think for the most part, like 85%, 85, 90% of folks hear those things when I say them in chat and saying like, hey, we're getting off for the day, or like, hey, we're just not going to stream for the day, or just generally just naming another boundary around, like, hey, this person is in queue, so on and so forth, right? I think the majority of the people, I will say this, in the way that we've been crafting our community have been, like they're not, causing a ruckus. Like, I understand you're human, but it's always tough for me for that like 10 to 15% of people who just don't give an F. They're just like, you're here to serve me. I mean, obviously they're not using these exact words, but the attitude is like, you're here to serve me. You're here. You said you're doing help, so just help. Just like, don't have a brain, don't have emotions, and just do the thing. And it's just like, it's really disheartening. Again, when it happens, again, it rarely happens, and I really appreciate even the times when like chat will catch something that I didn't catch and kind of like tell the person to chill, or like we'll just pause for a second. I'll kind of address what's going on, and thankfully, again, it hasn't had to happen a lot, but those moments where like it does feel tough because as someone who wants like I was gonna say as many people as possible, and that's kind of like the vibe, but not really. But it's just like the community, or maybe a better way to say it is like the community is open to all, right? If you're not gonna be toxic, if you're gonna be there to engage with me, but also engage with other community members, and you want to do that in a healthy way, you want to meet some new people, yeah, the community is absolutely open to you. Um, but also like the people who are just there for a thing, just for like the transaction. Um, sometimes, I generally, I don't hide my emotions. I actually was crying after stream, recently because like, I don't know, I just got really frustrated that, there was this individual who would come into chat, and again, you don't have to say hi to me, but it's nice. Like I am a freaking human, but like, didn't come in, didn't say anything, again, just basic like live stream etiquette, like didn't like, say what's up to me or anyone in chat, just came in and was kind of just like demanding that like we run stuff. And it was just like weird that the way that they approached it, because oh god, what was the first message? I can't remember what the first message was at this point, but the first message was like super bizarre, and it was like a general question. It was like, oh, are you still like doing master and grandmaster helps? I was like, yeah. And it was weird. And again, I just kind of answered off instinct, because I was like, it was like a basic yes or no question. um and we had already had people in queue. I think there was like 3 people in queue before this person, and so I was like, yeah, we're doing it. And then I just proceeded to explain um about the queue. And so I don't know, they just seemed, I guess, dissatisfied with that. um and yeah, I just ended up actually like shortly after leaving. Again, I don't, I watched the VOD back. I didn't think anything I said was uh invalidating or untrue. Like it was the truth. It was like, hey, we have a queue, like we have other people. And it was just like a little disheartening because I don't know, maybe I'm just a crybaby. Yeah, maybe I am. There's something wrong with that. But I was just sad after stream, because I was just like, I really want to help people. I really want to have the space where if someone needed something, um that they can come and get help. But again, the boundary I'm setting is like, in this case, was like, there's a queue, there's other people who are here before you, and like can we respect the queue? I felt like that. I feel like that's a reasonable ask, to be like, you know what, hey, someone else is, like, we have a queue, we're trying to help as many people as we can while we're streaming, so on and so forth. And so just thinking about that example, thinking about like how it impacted me, because I really did want to help as many folks as possible, but it just they just wanted to skip the line. I don't know, or I don't know, I really don't know what the vibe was. I don't want to like paint them out to be a negative person, because the VOD is still up. Like, again, I never want to sit here and paint anybody into like a negative picture or whatever. But it just really got me thinking about like how tough boundaries can be, especially as a content creator, where um, I want to engage with as many people as possible as I have capacity, but whether it be like a comment on YouTube, whether it be someone in stream, sometimes it's hard to like really understand where folks are coming from or what their intentions are, right? Just like generally trying to understand what someone's intentions are just based off of a chat message or something that, you know, they're commenting. Now, again, we've talked about this before. Trolls are pretty good at outing themselves as trolls. You know, that's usually never the issue, but like you never know if someone's trying to like, you know, uh trying to like get you to feel bad or whatever. It's just like, why aren't you letting me, you know, be in queue or whatever? And it's just like, I don't know if that's what that person was trying to do, but it didn't feel great that like I was kind of made to feel bad that we had a queue, that other people were ahead of this person who just randomly jumped in the chat and just kind of, you know, just was like, oh yeah, I need to be helped. And you know, I think partially I'm kind of glad, because I think a previous version of me, especially like the version of me that was testing out streaming like last year, before like even my YouTube channel or anything was up, like I think I probably would have caved and been like, "Oh no, I need you in chat," and you know, yeah, absolutely no, just cut and then you can be here, or whatever. You know, I don't care if I'm playing with friends. I'll leave the fire team. I'll help you, and right, kind of be in that space. But like now, again, I'm still fairly new because I consider like the past year of content as like my real like streaming journey, because it's like where I've actually been consistent, right? In terms of like building out content for my YouTube page, consistent streams, so on and so forth. And um yeah, just feeling like, you know, boundaries aren't a bad thing, and they never have to be about a bad thing, but uh feeling some type of way anytime that someone wants to come in and try and stake claim on my time and the energy that I'm giving to my community, um never really feels great, right? It never really feels great. And like for me, I always want to be cognizant of the fact that like I am just a person in the community and I'm here to do my best and I'm here to uh just get through, you know, as Prince said, we're gathered here today to get through this thing called life. And I want to be able to game with all members of the community, folks who again aren't going to be toxic and, you know, just want to have a game and have a good time. And yeah, I always think about like how together we can like build those norms, both in like my community as well as like the larger Destiny 2 community, for like how we treat people, because when I think about these boundaries, I'm also like, I see it all the time with other like server streamers, and I think we talked about server streamers on the channel, maybe not, but yeah, I feel like a lot of server streamers, especially like black and brown server streamers, uh, really get treated in a very similar way, where like people just demand things. It's like you're here to like give me a carry, and like that person's like, no, I'm here to do helps. You know, I'm here to like sherp, I'm here to teach. And just being in a space where it's just like, again, maybe this is actually about the community. I said earlier it wasn't, but maybe this is. But just like being in a space where I feel like it happens way too often, where people just feel entitled to cross a creator's boundaries, a streamer content creator's boundaries, and just have no remorse, have no other feelings, and like, I just need to get what I need to get. I need to get this last wish clear. I need to get this dungeon clear or whatever. And it's like, actually, if we treated people with a little bit of kindness and respected when they said, you know, like, hey, I don't have the capacity for this, or hey, there's a queue, or hey, the stream is about to end, you know, if we had more respect for that, you know, what would the community look like? So again, touching on a couple of different things in this edition, but again, just want to kind of name that, you know, when I think about boundaries, I'm not just saying that because I want to be selfish. I'm not just saying that because of XYZ reasons. The reason why I have boundaries is because I want to be able to show up in a healthy way for this community. Um, both my community as well as the larger community, and to be in a space where like I continue to like give and give. We're streaming long hours and I'm not really feeding myself. I'm also not getting the necessary sleep. All these, I'm not drinking water. I'm not staying hydrated. I'm looking ashy, all the different things. It's like ultimately, what suffers, the content suffers, and the community suffers. And I want to be in a more sustainable place if at all possible. So that's why I have my boundaries. Like I don't overpromise. I'm not going to sit here and be like, we're going to have a 36-hour. No, I'm not. I'll probably never have even a 24-hour stream. I'll probably never stream for that long. Cause I know my own personal capacities. I know, mainly because it's physically taxing, but also my neurodivergent brain would not survive a 24-hour stream at all. Um, and so, yeah. Anyways, we're closing, but yeah, I would be curious on what folks think and kind of like your own experience of potentially seeing people's boundaries get crossed in like the content creator space. I think also people cross boundaries because, once people like feel like they have a sense of, they know what state you live in and they've heard you talk about different life stories on stream, they start to like develop this like connection where it's just like, I appreciate you being a community member, but we're not as close as you think we are, right? So like you trying to make assumptions then crosses boundaries as well. And it's just like, how can we just not, you know how can we just not and just allow people the space to be human, the space to like create friendships organically, the space to be able to say no, to say like, respectfully, like I don't have the capacity for this. Respectfully, I gotta get off. It's date night. Me and my partner gotta go. Like we've been trying to do this, and no, I'm not gonna stream another 3 hours. I'm gonna get off so I can take a shower and go to date night with my partner. Like things like that. And then people, you say those things respectfully, and then people are receptive to them versus like feeling like you're attacking them or whatever the case is, which again I've seen happen a lot, unfortunately. So I'd love to know folks' thoughts. Does it sound crazy? Does it sound like you doing too much out here in these streets? Does it feel like actually reasonable, or have you seen yourself kind of experiences where people have unfortunately crossed boundaries with a live streamer or a content creator? Because yeah, just be curious on what folks think and how that lands, how that resonates for you when you think about like people just trying to be honest and say like, what, I have 6 hours of streaming into me today. I have 6 hours of streaming into me this week, and that's all I can effectively give. And let's do what we can with those 6 hours this week. But I don't have anything else, and people being like, what, that's cool, because I'm gonna show up for however much of that time. We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna enjoy each other's presence. And I feel like sometimes, again, although again, as I said before, it's only like 10% of the time. It's very few times that it's happened, but the times that does happen, it gets me sad, legitimately, because I'm just like, I want to be a helpful, impactful, positive community member, but I just feel like a lot of times boundaries can get crossed when people just feel entitled to your time. And maybe that's the hard truth, but you're not entitled to my time. You're not. uh, and so, yeah, how do we have these conversations in these spaces and be a little bit more respectful to each other? Let me know in the comments. Looking forward to hearing from y'all soon. Peace.